Alrighty, welcome everyone to the Virtual College Exploration Program in partnership with Colleges That Change Lives. This is the Lawrence University information session. And before I pass it over to Brianna from Lawrence, I will start us off with some housekeeping items. In case you haven't heard them before, we do have more sessions with CTCL through tomorrow evening. So if you're interested in registering for more sessions, feel free to check back on our schedule. When you do register for these sessions, you get a barcode in that confirmation email, but know that that barcode is not necessary for any of the virtual events that you partake in. And we are recording all of these sessions and posting them to our website shortly after the session concludes. So whether you want to rewatch one or watch one you may have missed, just check back on our website for those recordings as well. And then you'll notice that you'll see Brianna, you'll hear her, she can't see or hear you all. This is webinar style format. So any questions you have throughout the presentation, feel free to type those into the Q&A, and she's going to save some time towards the end to address those aloud. So I'm going to pass it over to her to get us started. Thanks so much for being here.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to share my screen. Awesome. I think you'll be able to see it. So my name is Brianna Barkin, and I'm an Associate Director of Admission at Lawrence University in Appleton, Wisconsin. I am a regionally based admissions counselor, so even though you can see our campus behind me, I am actually located in Los Angeles, California, so I am in the same time zone as most of you, and I'm recognizing some of the names in the participants who I've met before, so I'm so happy you're here to learn a little bit more about Lawrence University. We are, of course, a proud member of the Colleges That Change Lives Consortium, and we are happy to get to know you a little bit better. So we are a university, not because we have graduate students, we are a 100% undergraduate campus, but we have 2 degree granting institutions on campus. So we have a College of Liberal Arts and Sciences and a Conservatory of Music. So what does that mean for you? That means that if you are interested in music in any way, you will be able to have access to our conservatory as a student on our campus. Our conservatory is a little unique in that way. It is not super exclusive. So we really want students in the college to be involved in the conservatory, and we really want students in the conservatory to be involved in the college as well. So there's not kind of those harsh boxes that you put yourself in when you come on campus. We have a ton of majors in our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, everything from traditional art history, English, history majors, and you know, we're gonna debunk some myths. I'm sure you've already gotten debunked so far. You definitely can study hard sciences at a liberal arts college. Our most popular major in the college is actually biology. And last year, we're super proud, we had a 100% placement rate into medical school for students that met the med school average. So that's about a B+ average on your GPA and about an 80th percentile on the MCAT. So for those students, 100% of them were admitted into medical school. So that is really awesome, something that we are really proud of, and we hope that continues as time goes on. At Lawrence, we have 1,500 undergraduate students and 170+ professors. So what does that mean for you? It means that our average class size is only 15 students. Our student to faculty ratio is 8:1, which is one of the lowest in the country. And that means that your professors are gonna know who you are. So our classes are small and they're discussion based. So your professor is definitely gonna notice if you're in class or not. And they expect you to be there and be an active participant in your learning. I get asked a lot what the relationship is between professors and students on campus, and I'm sure this is true through a lot of the Colleges That Change Lives presentations you might have listened to, is that professors choose to work at a place like Lawrence and other colleges that change lives because they want to have those close relationships with students. Their #1 priority at a place like Lawrence is teaching and getting to know you and having that relationship. So that means that if professors are doing research on our campus, we don't have any graduate students, so they are hiring our undergraduate students to do that research with them. That means, you know, a lot of our students have been to their professors' homes for a meal. Our professors are really engaged in the community, and that is something that is really special and unique about our campus. Freshman studies. So every single first-year student at Lawrence for the last many years has taken freshman studies. So what is it? It is kind of a crash course into the liberal arts and how you'll be expected to be an active participant in your classes throughout your 4 or 5 years at Lawrence. Why did I say or 5 years? I forgot to mention in my slide about the conservatory and the college, we do have a 5-year double degree program. So if you want to earn both a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Science, you can do so in just 5 years. So all of our students are taking this freshman studies course. We are on the trimester system, so that means that we have 3 10-week terms throughout the year, and your first and second term at Lawrence, you're going to be taking freshman studies. So each term you only take 3 to 4 classes. We aim to have students take about 10 classes over the course of the entire year. And one of your classes, your first and second term at Lawrence, will be freshman studies. You'll have 15 students and you'll have 1 professor the first term and 1 professor the second term, but every single first year student on campus is going through the same exact curriculum. So you're going to have a unit on jazz music, a unit on physics, a unit on a work of literature. And then at the end of every unit, is pretty much the only time you'll ever be in a lecture hall at Lawrence. All of our first year students get together for one culminating experience after each unit. And then your second term in the class, you will have a different professor. So these are just a few ways that you get to build close relationships with professors, and your first kind of foray into that is through our freshman studies class. Our students definitely say in retrospect that they love freshman studies, but that it really is a challenging course while they're in it. But our students, and you can talk to any Lawrence grad about it, and it's something to commiserate about, certainly. Yeah, so our motto is light, more light. We have a lot to offer on campus. As you can see, there's a picture of Big Ben in the background, and that is because we do have a campus in London, England. So we really want our students to be able to study abroad, and the easiest way to do that at Lawrence is to go to our London Center. Why is that? Well, because it's ours. So it is on our course schedule, our courses, our professors, our financial aid, our students. So it's really, really easy to go for 1 term, 2 term, a full school year. As many times as you want to go, you can go. And it's a really incredible experience. Our students really enjoy it, but not to worry if you do want to study abroad, not in the UK. Our students definitely go all over the world. So we have a great study abroad office on campus that will help you out if you want to figure out where you want to study abroad that may or may not be London. Our students are really involved in a lot of different things. We have, of course, music. A lot of our students are, if they're not in ensembles on campus, they are in their own kind of bands with their friends. As you can see up at the top, that is one of our alumni bands. We do have the Mile of Music in Appleton every summer, and that is not affiliated with Lawrence, but it's affiliated with the city of Appleton, and it is a music festival that happens every summer. We do have a lot of Division III varsity sports teams, including football, as you can see on here. We have a student radio station. One of our fun traditions is that we do have the Great Midwest Trivia Contest, which I believe is a 50-hour trivia contest. And you have teams and you stay up all night and you have to, the first people to get the answer to the trivia question wins. And they're very hard trivia questions. And so that's one of our really wonderful traditions. And of course, in Wisconsin, it does get cold. So there is a part of campus called Ormsby Hall, which is one of our dorms. And in front of Ormsby Hall, there's kind of a dip in the cement. And in the wintertime, that gets filled with water and it freezes and it becomes Ormsby Lake. And you can see students playing broom ball, it looks like, on Ormsby Lake. And then above that, you'll see when it's not cold in the springtime, our students are outside. Something really nice about Lawrence, I know a lot of you guys are from the West Coast on here, and though I get asked all the time, the two most popular questions I get from students are about the weather and the food. So yes, it gets cold. As long as you have an appropriate coat and shoes and a hat and scarf, you won't be cold. The cold does not deter our students from getting outside. Our students do outdoor activities all year long, so don't let that scare you. This picture is of our beautiful Bjork London campus. We do have 3 campuses, the one in Appleton we already talked about, the one in London, and this one in Bjork London, which is a resort kind of campus on Lake Michigan, as you can see here. Lake Michigan is really awesome because when you're there, you can't see the other end, so it kind of feels like you're at the beach, but it's really a lake, which is very cool. So our retreat center, Bjork London, our students will typically go once a year for a weekend to Bjork London, whether it's with a freshman studies class, a sports team, a music ensemble, a club, anything like that. You'll go. There's no self-service there, so definitely you'll have to tell your parents before you go. It's about 90 minutes from campus, and it's a really great opportunity to disconnect from the world and connect with each other at this wonderful, beautiful place that we are so proud to call ours. And in a typical summer, it is rented out to the public. So if you end up at Lawrence and you want to take your parents to Bjork London over the summer, you can definitely do that too. Awesome. By senior year, you will be ready to generate your own light, and that is so true. Every senior at Lawrence participates in the Chandler Senior Experience, which is a senior project. I know a lot of you do something similar at your high school. It's a way to reflect on the last 4 years, everything you've learned, and kind of showcase what that is. And that's going to be really individual for each student, right? So a music student might give a performance, and an English major might write a piece of writing, and a science student might do their own experiment. So it really is up to you what your Chandler Senior Experience is, but it's something that's really fun to see at the end of every year, are the senior experiences. And after all that at Lawrence, what happens? Well, I'm gonna just talk a little bit about the city of Appleton before I hop into talking about our outcomes for our students. So Appleton, Wisconsin is fondly referred to as the Little Apple, and it is a small city. So we have about 75,000 people that live in Appleton, and the greater metropolitan area, which includes Green Bay. So yes, there are a lot of Packer fans, is about 250,000 people. So 250,000 people live in the greater metro area. We have an airport in Appleton. It's only 6 miles from campus, and that's about a 10 to 15 minute drive. The Appleton airport is very easy to get to. I have gotten there from all over California, from both the Bay Area and the Los Angeles area. You just have a layover in Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis. If you live in Phoenix, you might be able to get a nonstop flight to Appleton, or Denver also, you might be able to get a nonstop flight. So that's how you get to campus. And then Appleton is the main central hub for our region. So our region is referred to as the Fox Valley, and our downtown area is kind of where everyone comes to do their things. So our campus is 4 blocks by 2 blocks, and right off campus is Appleton. So it's just across the street. So getting downtown is definitely walkable. Our students walk downtown to go do homework at coffee shops all the time. It's about a mile and a half of restaurants and shops. Anything you could really need is right downtown. We even have a performing arts center that gets a full touring Broadway season every year. So last October, Hamilton was in Appleton, and our students were able to get student rush tickets for $25. And I honestly was really jealous, but I'm so happy that that opportunity exists for our students. Usually 6 shows come every year. And then we also have 2 Targets in town. We do have a shuttle bus that'll take you to the nearby mall and movie theater. So anything you could possibly want, we probably have in Appleton itself. Great. All right, so what do you get after 4 years at Lawrence University? We have a 99% placement rate of our students into jobs or graduate school within 6 months of graduation, which is totally awesome. You can see the breakdown here. We have our Center for Career and Community Engagement, and you can get involved with them as early as your first day on campus, and they will really work with you to polish your resume and look for internships and be prepared for what the world has to offer you. The employers of our recent graduates are always really impressed that our students have really taken what they learned in the liberal arts philosophy, which is learning a lot of different things, right? You're not just going to be focused on your major. And so our students are really able to take on any challenge that comes to them because they can look at it from many different viewpoints. So it's a really great place to get yourself set up for your future. So let's talk about the application, right? I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions about our application. So here are the requirements you can see for the college and the conservatory. We are on the Common App, and we also have our own Lawrence app. I personally think the Common App's a little easier, but we honestly don't have a preference. So up to you. We do require your high school transcript, your school report, a letter of recommendation from your teacher and your counselor. Test scores are optional, so take a sigh of relief, let it go. We know that this year is really challenging, and that's one thing you don't need to worry about, especially with us right now. We have been test optional, I believe, since the 1990s, so we are willing and able to review your application holistically without your test scores. So don't worry about that in any way. And then an interview is a really awesome opportunity for your admissions counselor to get to know you. So if you live in a Western state that is not Colorado or New Mexico, your interview would hopefully be with me, and we get to know each other a little better. I know I said before, I've already met some of you in the room right now, so that's really awesome, and hopefully they'll tell you that I'm nice and easy to talk to. So the interview is really helpful to get to know you a little better. The application, as you know, the only part of the application where we really get to know you is in your personal statement. So I know there is so much more to you and who you are than just what we can see in about 10 pieces of paper. And so for me, I love getting to know you. It helps me put a face to the name when I'm reading your application. And it just makes the process a lot more fun for me, if I'm being honest with you. So then for the conservatory, in addition to all of that, we also require an audition. Again, sigh of relief. All of our auditions this year are going to be pre-recorded and self-recorded auditions. So we're not going to have any in-person auditions. That's not even going to be an option. So everyone's going to be sending in a tape. Everyone's on the same playing field. It's all great. An evaluation from your music teacher and a music resume. So those are the requirements for admission. We have a very robust scholarship and financial aid program at Lawrence. You can see kind of the breakdown here. I know it's been a really, really challenging time for a lot of us over the last 6 months, but we have had some really good news out of Lawrence. So we, for the last several years, have been fundraising what we call our Full Speed to Full Need campaign, and we met our fundraising goal of $85 million this summer, which is incredible. And honestly, one of the reasons that I wanted to work at Lawrence is because of this campaign. And the $85 million is going to go towards making our school an institution that meets full demonstrated need. So unfortunately, we won't be able to do that right away, but hopefully we're going to let this money grow a little bit, and then we will be able to meet 100% of demonstrated need for all of our students who are coming to Lawrence. And I cannot wait for that day. But for now, don't worry. You can see here we are still very generous. Our merit-based scholarships go up to half of the total cost of attendance. So that comes out to $31,000 scholarship. That is our highest scholarship. And then we also have need-based aid, and you can apply for private scholarships as well. You can see our admissions deadlines here. So if you love Lawrence, you know where the school you want to go to, I would be so excited, and you would want to apply early decision. So early decision is binding. You would apply by November 1st. You're going to find out by December 1st, and then that's a binding agreement. So that means that you're coming to Lawrence regardless of what your financial aid package may be, and we will celebrate big time on December 15th. Early action 1 is if you really like us, but you don't want to commit because you want to evaluate all your financial aid packages that come in, or because you haven't had a chance to visit campus, which I assume most of you had not at this point had the chance to visit campus, but you want to get your decision a little earlier and have more time to think about it. So that's early action 1. You'll apply by November 1st. You'll get your decision by December 15th, and you have until May 1st to tell us yes or no. Early action 2 works the same way. The deadline is just a little later. And then regular decision is our last deadline. You apply by January 15th. We let you know by April 1st, but then you only have about 4 weeks to make your final decision. So you'll have a little less time to weigh all of your options. Some important things to note about these deadlines is if you are applying for the Bachelor of Music program and are sending in an audition, which you would be if you were applying for that program, you cannot apply early action 2. So you have to choose early decision, early action 1, or regular decision, and that's just to give our faculty enough time to review all the auditions. So they need time to do that, and so early action 2 is just too rushed for them. That was that deadline. Any deadline you choose to apply by will not really impact your financial aid decision or your our admission rate. So you are just as likely to be admitted to Lawrence no matter which of these deadlines you choose. I know that it's not the same at every college, certainly, but at Lawrence it is. So don't let that scare you. But my personal opinion is that if you are not dead set on Lawrence, then I would really recommend applying by early action 1. That way, you have just a little more time to figure everything out. And I know this year, hopefully we'll be able to, go out of state and visit colleges as the year progresses. And so you'll have more time between when you find out you were admitted and the time you have to commit to plan those trips. So that's my just personal recommendation. Awesome. So that is kind of my presentation, and I see that I have 2 questions already. So let me answer them. Okay. I'm going to answer Allison's question. So Allison wants to know, how difficult is it to major in psychology and do music at the same time? That is a really easy thing to do on campus. So if you wanted to do a double major, you could do that. If you wanted to be a double degree student, you could do that in 5 years. If you wanted to be a psychology major and just be in an ensemble, you as any student at Lawrence can audition for any ensemble to be in the pit orchestra for our yearly musical. So it is very, very easy for students to be both involved in a major in the college and the conservatory. Okay, so Jacqueline is asking me, how many classes are in person and how is more distance learning being handled for classes? So that is a great question. We announced our course catalog last week. It's available on our website if you want to look at it. We are having a few different modes of learning right now. So our campus, traditionally, you are required to live on campus for all 4 years. And that is just because we are a very traditional liberal arts college and we believe in that philosophy. So we are offering some in-person classes, and I believe those are like science-based classes, conservatory classes. Those are they're all listed online, so you can look and see exactly how that's working. So we are offering any student who wants to live on campus can live on campus, and any student who is uncomfortable living on campus for whatever reason is not required to live on campus this upcoming year. So even if you are living on campus, it's not guaranteed that your courses are going to be in person. It's likely that you're still going to have, at least 1 or 2 classes online, even if you're living on campus. And that's kind of how it's being handled at this time. We are doing the best we can for that, and we are offering, we know our students live all over the world. They come from a lot of different time zones, so our courses are being offered both like live, where you have to be there while it's happening, and pre-recorded, so our students in all time zones can get access to the same education and information. Okay, Eli asked me what the stress culture is like at Lawrence, and I will say that one of the beautiful things about Lawrence is that it's not a competitive place. So our students are definitely more collaborative than competitive. They really care about school, and they really want to do well in their classes, but they're not like fighting each other. That's not what Lawrence is all about. So don't worry about that. Melissa, you asked me if Lawrence accepts PSEO credits, but I don't know what that stands for. So if you could please like type that in another question, I'm happy to answer that. Betsy wants to know about pre-nursing. Yes, so we have pre-health advising. So if you want to go into nursing or medicine or occupational therapy, physical therapy, any of that, we have advisors ready to help you figure out what courses you need to take at Lawrence to advance your education after. So that is not an issue at all. You will, one of the really nice things about being at a place like Lawrence is that you can take the prerequisites for graduate school no matter what major you are. So you could be an English major and still take all the necessary science and math credits to go on to one of those programs. So really follow what you want to be studying at this point, and you don't even have to know, because we you can come in, we call it multi-interested, that's code for undecided, but we call it multi-interested because our students are usually not coming in because they don't have any idea what they want to study, but they want to study so many things they can't choose. So don't worry about that. Okay, Wallace wants to know if admissions is Needblind. Yes, we, at this time, we don't look at your financial need when we're making your admission decision. If you are admissible to Lawrence, we do our best to admit all of our students. At this point, we are not meeting full need of all of our students, and so I don't know if that might change in the future when that takes into effect, but for now, that's not something we consider in the admissions process. Okay, how many students live on campus? I already answered that one. 100% of students live on campus. We are still finding out exactly how many students are going to be living on campus this year. We are on the trimester system, as I mentioned, and so our school year doesn't start until after Labor Day. So we are still finding out when all of our students will be, if they will be moving on and when exactly they will be moving on. What is housing like and what is dining like? Wallace wants to know. And I will tell you, our housing, we have 7 or 8 dorms on campus. We have videos of all of them on our YouTube channel, and we are currently working on creating more videos of them because we know you want to see what all the dorms look like. You are able to rank your top 3 dorms, and then you'll get placed into one of those most likely your first year. So our dorms are, you're usually in a room with one other person, communal bathrooms in the hallway, very traditional kind of dorms in that way. And then what is dining like? I knew I would get asked because we all want to know if the food's good, and the food is really good. So the food both on campus and in the city of Appleton is really good and way better than I expected. So on campus, we have one main dining hall where our students eat. It's called Andrew Commons, and the food is very good. You can go, it's open pretty much all the time, and that's kind of how it works. You get dining dollars and meal swipes on your ID card that you pick your plan when you're enrolling. And then we have a grab and go cafe in our student center as well. And then we also have a new cafe in the conservatory. So our campus is not so big, but from the conservatory to the dining hall is about a 10-minute walk. So we were able to put in a little cafe in the conservatory, where our conservatory students could swipe their meal plan to get some snacks and food, because that was something our students really wanted. Okay, Sian wants to know about creating your own club. It's really easy to do that at Lawrence. We have some really fun clubs. A lot of our students are very interested in student government and volunteering in the community. If you have a volunteer position in the city of Appleton, but you don't have a car, most of our students don't have cars, then we have a campus shuttle that will take you to your volunteer and pick you up. So don't worry about that. If there is something you really want to do and we don't have a club, you can create your own club. It's really, really easy to do that. You just have to have some friends who want to do it with you, sign up, and I'm pretty sure that's all it takes to create your own club at Lawrence. Very easy and very fun. How many students participate in Greek life? So about 10% of our students participate in Greek life. It's about 150 students. We do, so in addition to our dorms, we also have some themed houses. So I'm glad you asked about Greek life. So our themed houses are some Greek houses and we have a gaming house and an international house. And so you can apply to live in one of those themed houses after your freshman year, if you don't want to live in one of the traditional dorms anymore. Great. Are there opportunities for dance, specifically ballet, on campus? So I'm not sure specifically about ballet. If you send me an email, I will get more information for that for you. I know we do have a dance major and some dance classes, so those would be available to all of our students to participate in. Okay, Allison wants to know, if I don't submit a test score, does it affect my chance of getting a merit scholarship? No, not at all. Don't worry about it. Also, do you have a music scholarship? Yes, we do. It is called the Ensemble Award. So what is the Ensemble Award? It is for non-music majors, and you will send in an audition just like everybody else, and you'll apply for the Ensemble Award. And if you are granted the Ensemble Award, then you will receive free music lessons for the duration that you are part of an ensemble on campus. So that is the music scholarship, and that is what that process looks like for that. And just, I'm going to touch on one more thing. So we do a super holistic review of your application. We care about you and who you are, and as a whole person, honestly, we do. And so when we're awarding merit-based scholarships, it's not based on just one thing. So it's based on you as a person, your performance in the classroom. If you submit your test scores, they may play a factor, and if you don't, you still could get the highest scholarship. It's not in any way going to impact that. So it's really, you know, what your teacher and your counselor say about you, what your transcript shows about you. So I really want to I don't want you guys to worry about that. There's so much to worry about right now that, at least for Lawrence, I don't want you to worry about your test scores. Does financial aid follow you abroad? Yes. So if you go to the London Center, it will definitely be, oh, I have a lot of questions about London. Okay, so I'm going to answer all of them now. Sydney wants to know, and Wallace wants to know. And so, okay, so yes, studying in London is the same exact cost as studying in Appleton. So we wanted to make it easy, so, you know, the plane tickets weren't going to totally break the bank. So I believe it's the same price to study in London as it is to study on campus. And because it's our campus, it is the same financial aid, the same scholarship, because it's Lawrence credits. So everything in London is the same. You just have to apply to go. And I'm not sure how selective the process is, as opposed to just like stating your interest in going. Depending on your major, you might have to, you know, figure out when to go based on which courses are being offered there. But that's how the London Center works. It's very seamless because it is our campus. For other study abroad opportunities, you would still receive your financial aid, but the price for some of those programs might be more or less than the Lawrence tuition. So it might impact it in some way, or you might have a higher out-of-pocket cost, but those are all things that the study abroad office would be able to work out with you before you applied to the programs if they didn't work with us well or were going to be wildly more expensive. Okay, we have questions about how do outside scholarships affect your financial aid package. We try to not have outside scholarships affect your financial aid package. Our financial aid office is awesome. Ryan Gebler over there, he's a director of financial aid, and we really want to work with students. So, I mean, definitely be honest with us and upfront about what outside scholarships you're getting, and then we're all working towards meeting your need. So don't worry, please, about that either. We're gonna try and do our best by each and every one of you who's applying to Lawrence. Okay, Grace wants to know if there are in-person visits now, and that is kind of a tricky question. So we are offering in-person visits now. However, at this time, you can only come visit campus if you arrive in your own personal vehicle. So that means that you and your parents would have to drive to Wisconsin from wherever you're currently living to be able to get a tour of campus. Our tours right now are about 90 minutes. They are all outside, and you would be hosted by one of my colleagues on campus. So those are the options we have available right now. Those might change as we move forward. We are working very, very hard. I'm on the team in our office to figure out how to make distance visits better. So if you have any ideas, email them to me. I want to know what they are. We are setting up student panels right now, so current students to answer questions and talk about different things that our students want to know about. We are in the process of recording a more in-depth, more personalized campus tour. We're going to have student takeovers on our Instagram. If you don't follow our Instagram, it is awesome. It's just Lawrence Uni, and they do a really great job. So yes, you can visit in person, but also we are really, really working on beefing up our virtual options for you guys, especially from you guys who live farther away. What would you say that makes Lawrence different from the others in the Colleges That Change Lives program? Oof, that's a really good question. I'll just highlight some things I really love about Lawrence. I really love where we're located. I love that we are in a small city. I live in a big city, and I know a lot of you live in big cities too. And I really don't feel like I'm in such a small place at Lawrence. There is a high access and involvement in the greater Appleton community as well. It's kind of a really interesting place to be, even especially right now. Politically, Appleton is a purple city, and so there is a lot of diversity in a lot of ways in Appleton. And so every election year, so I know you guys are juniors and rising seniors, but usually every presidential candidate comes through Appleton because, as we all know, Wisconsin is a swing state, and we're purple, so we're part of that swing. So it's a really exciting place to be during an election year usually. And I know I talked about the food on campus, but the food in Appleton is also really good. There's almost like every cuisine you can imagine in town, and I'm always really excited to go because it's just, people are really nice and the food's really good and the town is really cute. So I really like being in Appleton myself. And I think that sets us apart, just where we're located. And then our 8-to-1 student ratio is going to be one of the lowest you're going to see. I think that's really great. And then we also offer, I forgot to mention, 60% of our classes are one-on-one. So that's kind of like an independent study. So if there's something that you want to learn that we're not offering a course in, and you find a professor to sponsor your course, then you'll be able to learn exactly what you're interested in. So I hope that answered your question, Jacqueline. Okay, Gloria wants to know, hi Gloria, if there are any programs for first generation students. Yes, there are. We try to pair our first generation students with faculty and staff members who are first generation college students as well. So you'll have a mentor on campus who knows exactly what you are going through. We have a lot of other things also specifically for Achieve students that I can definitely answer offline, Gloria. Okay, Melissa, thank you for clarifying your question. PSEO is a post-secondary enrollment option. Yeah, so dual enrollment, yes. So if you have taken classes at a community college, you can send those to our registrar to have those evaluated to see if we'll accept those credits. The same kind of thing as APIB. Our registrar will evaluate which APIB score would count as credit. And just because it counts as credit doesn't mean that it would eliminate a required course. So just keep that in mind. But yes, you can transfer in classes. I know I have a lot of students in Washington who do I'm forgetting what's called, like the Jumpstart program, who get an associate's degree while they're still in high school. And so we definitely work with transferring those credits. Okay, Catherine wants to know, do most people stay on campus on the weekends? And the answer to that is yes, because most of our students live on campus, and by most I mean 98%, so it's pretty much all of them. There's a lot of stuff happening on campus, and even though we are in Wisconsin, not all of our students are from Wisconsin. So the top 4 states where we get students from are Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, and California. And we had about 385 students in our freshman class last year, and they came from over 320 different high schools. So that means that our students are really coming from all over, and it's not possible for most of our students to go home on the weekend. So there is so much to do. Our students are so busy. I'm always amazed when I talk to our current students about what they're doing and what they're up to. And, you know, most of our students who I've met are double majoring. And if they're not double majoring, they are president of a club, on a varsity sports team, doing something really awesome with an internship. So our students are really busy and involved. We have a movie theater on campus. Our wellness center does a lot of events for our students. I know I work with one of our current students, Miles, a lot, and he always talks about Zumba after dark. So there's just a lot of fun stuff going on, and you definitely won't be bored. I was on campus in February with one of our preview days, so it was an admitted student day, and I got to go, and it was so fun. And I got to campus at about 11 p.m. on a Saturday, and every single, you know, it was, you don't know this, it was in January, and the student center was packed. There were so many students in there in the cafe, just hanging out. So I think students are really on campus and hanging out with each other all the time. It's not a commuter campus in any way, and so students are not going home on the weekends and then coming back for class on Monday. Awesome. If anyone has any last minute questions, they can throw them up and I can try and answer them. We have about 2 minutes left. I have one more question from Catherine. Sorry about our fine arts program, something like studio art. We do have a studio art major available to our students. It does not require a portfolio. So if you are interested in that, we certainly have it available for you. We also have a film major, and that's kind of fun. So our offices are in Chapman Hall, and we're on the first floor, and then in the basement is actually our film studies program, and then on our top floor is our career center. So we really, you know, we get you in admissions and then right away to the career center, because we know that you are seeking your 4-year degree for what's next for the rest of your life. Awesome. Well, I have just like a minute left. I thank you guys so much for joining me on this Monday afternoon. I know some of you started school already, and some of you have yet to start school, but I really wish you the best of luck. I know things are a little strange right now, but everyone's doing the best they can. I know you are too. So just keep your heads up high. I'm really looking forward to getting to know some of you better. You can definitely email me. Is there a way for me to put my email for you all to see somewhere?
Not right now since the questions have been answered, but I will make sure that everyone gets your information as well as who attended this specific webinar. So personal follow-up can happen after this. So the conversation definitely isn't ending here.
Awesome. So thank you all so much. I look forward to getting to know some of you better who I've already met and meeting those of you I haven't met yet and reading your applications really soon. And I'll pass it back over to Jen.
And I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us tonight and share all this valuable information. And for those who have attended, thank you so much. As you exit the webinar, you will be taken to a quick survey. It's only 4 questions, so we hope to hear your feedback. And as I alluded to in the beginning, more sessions with CTCL through tomorrow evening, and all of our recordings will be available on our website. So I hope everyone has a great afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are. And I hope everyone has a great evening. And thanks once again to Brianna for taking time out of her busy schedule. Hope everyone has a great evening. Take care.